Another one bites the dust. This time, Jason Blum, who I did talk about recently as far as him wanting to remake the Scream movie, and he may also be involved with trying to remake Hellraiser. Well, this time, Jason Blum has his eyes set on I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is coming from geektyrant.com, and there was an interview with Forbes where Jason Blum confirmed that he was looking to produce reboots of both Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I already talked about Scream, but this is the quote that he had. I'd like to do that, yeah. Would like to do both of them. But it's a rights situation with all of these movies. It's very tangled and very complicated. It's one thing to say you want to do them, and it's a whole other thing to get to actually do it. To give you some idea, Halloween was in the works with us for 4 to 5 years before it evolved. So there are business obstacles to cross. But in theory, if you said to me, would you like to do a Scream movie? My answer would be, of course. Sadly, it doesn't work like that. So obviously, he's mostly talking about Scream here, but he did lump I Know What You Did Last Summer in this conversation. I guess him and his legal team are trying to figure out the rights so that he can do this movie. To be honest, when it comes to I Know What You Did Last Summer, I love this movie. I do, and it's probably because of the age I was when it came out. In 1997, I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I saw the movie and I thought it was scary. I loved it. I loved the cast. I loved Jennifer Love Hewitt at the time, one of my first crushes. So yes, the time period and my age have a lot to do with my love for this movie. But even that, I can still rewatch it now. And I think it still holds up. I think the acting is still good. I think the premise alone is still relatable. It's still chilling. When they are out partying and drinking, and when they get into that car crash and they hit that person, that faceless person, you instantly put yourself in that situation of what would I do? How messed up is this? If I'm this young and I have my whole career, college, everything ahead of me, would I try to get away with dumping the body? It's an honest question, and it's a guilt that to see them live with. Very fascinating. Great, great script by Kevin Williamson, another writer who also did Scream. So I'm not a fan of this, the idea of rebooting it. I'm not. I can say a lot of the same thing that I said about Scream, although Scream is my favorite horror movie of all time. I Know You Did Last Summer. I get why they'd want to do it because the premise alone is something, like I said, that's relatable, so it's adaptable. You can do it again. I'm afraid that what we're gonna get though is the last I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. There was a third one, believe it or not, called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and that movie was so terrible that I'm afraid we're going to get something similar in that vein when you do try to update this. They had cell phones and they had other ways that the fisherman was trying to come after them, and it just did not work. It wasn't scary. Having the right cast plays a big part of it as well. A director. It is a gamble. Yes. And is there a possibility that this movie could get made and I might like it? Sure. But I don't think it needs to be done. Judging from Jason Blum's quote, it's not like he's saying, I have a great take on this. I have a version of this that I've been wanting to tell, or I love the movie and I want. His quote is basically just like, I want to make this movie because it's going to make money. Look at what Halloween did. That, like, not word for word, but that's pretty much what he's saying. There's no indication in this quote that he's actually interested in retelling the story for any other particular reason but to make a quick buck. And look, I like Jason Blum. I like what Blumhouse has done for the most part with horror, but when it comes to certain reboots or remakes, I just find a whole lot of them unnecessary. Almost all of my favorite horror movies have been remade at this point, and none of them have ended up being better than the original. So, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of yet another horror movie I know you did last summer in the works for being rebooted. This has been going on for a couple years now, so who knows how much sooner they are to making it happen. Do you want to see it? Are you like me, where you love the original, so you don't want to? Later!